Hello everyone, welcome to Radically Loved Radio. I wanted to create a place where people can go to get inspired, get motivated, or find some clarity and get tools to create a radically loved life. I will do my best to provide information on a variety of subjects, including yoga, holistic health, life coaching, spirituality, meditation, and overall mindful living. Each episode will bring you some of the world's best spiritual leaders, entrepreneurs, yoga teachers, coaches, along with some of my closest friends, and we will talk about their life experiences and journeys to create something more out of their lives and how they continue to grow to make that happen. Thanks for listening. I cannot wait to introduce you to today's guest. Handel Zander is a life coach, university lecturer, public speaker, and the co-founder and chairwoman of Handel Group. This is an international corporate consulting and private coaching company based in New York City. Lauren is also the author of Maybe It's You, Cut the Crap, Face Your Fears, Love Your Life. This is a no-nonsense practical manual that helps readers figure out not just what they want out of life, but how to actually get there. She's literally spent the last 2 decades coaching thousands of private clients, entrepreneurs, couples, families, professors, politicians, and so on. This woman is incredible. Talk about really creating the life that you want. She's created these groundbreaking methodologies that she uses in the Handel Method, which I'm a huge fan of, and I've actually had the privilege of practicing and studying, and I really can't wait for you to listen to this conversation. She gives us so much great advice on how to really begin to create change immediately, and she's just such an incredible teacher, and I'm really excited to share this episode with you. You will definitely want to get this book after you hear her talk and her tenacity, her passion, and her love for helping people all over the world. If you like this week's episode, please share with your friends. Send us your comments, suggestions, or what you thought. You can rate it on iTunes, subscribe on iTunes, listen on SoundCloud, everywhere and anywhere you want to listen and share this, please do. I cannot wait for you to hear this. Thank you so much for listening. So, why don't we can start with talking or telling our audience about how long did it take you to write this book, Lauren?
This book took 20 years because I did all the work first, right? Everybody, I did all the classes. I did the classes and the classes and the coaching, and then never stopped to write the book. And then was always like, when am I going to write the book? How am I going to write the book? The book, right? And so eventually. And then I'm not a writer. I'm a thinker and a talker, and then I can edit. How about that? How about that difficulty? Right? And so then I had to finally find someone who I could work with that I didn't want to throw it out after. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And so
it was hysterical how hard it was to find someone who I could truly write the right voice with, so it came out authentic.
Oh, that's so great. And I mean, as I said, so a lot of, for the people out there that live under a rock and don't know who you are, or have not seen a show that you've been on so many shows, you've written hundreds and thousands of articles, all the work that you've done is it's expansive and incredible. And so for the people that don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been working on and how you've accumulated such a massive reach with what you do?
So I started in my late 20s, and now I'm, with a commitment to help an individual design their life. I could not believe. So if you followed me around all through my life, I was mortified at how much better I was. Right? So from how come you're marrying that person when you're not even happy? How come you're why are you unhappy in your body? Right? So I spent my life figuring out how to get a person to face what they weren't facing and where it came from. Like, oh, it's from your mother. Oh, it's because she was an addict. Oh, how do you forgive that? Oh, right. Like, so step by step by step, what's between you and dreaming your life and having that life? I've been doing that for 20 years with thousands of people and other people to do it, right? So that's, if you followed my trail, you would discover that I am committed to people designing their life and their happiness.
Wow. Yeah. And so for yourself and your journey and doing this for as long as you have, what continued to fuel this curiosity of working with people or being able to see people's potential and wanting to work with that? Because it's a special skill and it's a special gift that you have.
The most people are, the amount of people who ask me if I get exhausted from my job or hearing all the stories, do you understand? Like, people are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I can't think of anything better than the privilege of hearing an individual's life story. Like, for me, that's God, right? God is in the life story.
I really love what you're saying about it being God or it being, just an external force that is coming through and speaking to you with the story. But how have you always had that sense of connecting with people? Because what you do is so strongly rooted in connecting. I don't think if you don't connect with people directly the way that you do, you can't get that story, right?
Yes. I have radical love for people, and not radical love for how I wish people would be, but radical love for the plight of being human. And then I want to teach you everything I know because out of love, right? And then the whole method is all about honoring life. It's not nice, right? It's not fun to put the cookie down, right? It's not fun to tell the truth sometimes, right? Like, so I'm doing my darndest at making, the work of dealing with being alive as entertaining and interesting and deep as it can be. But it's a privilege to coach someone to do the hard work and get people happy, even though he's a bitch.
Yeah.
Happy's a bitch. Being happy really means go to bed.
Oh.
Or you want to watch the next TV show, right? Like it means go sleep with your husband. It means get up at 6 a.m. and go get on the bike.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So it's hysterical that I love that fight.
Oh, that's so great. Well, it's important if that's what you do. Can you tell us about the Handel Method?
Yes. My favorite subject. My favorite subject. Okay, so the Handel Method, I break life out into 12 different areas. Ask for a dream in each area, and then I ask you to rate your current life against that dream, and I ask you to explain why you gave that rating. Okay, and then that's just section 1. So if you want to write that work alone, what I find is that most people can't dream. If you even wrote a dream, like when was the last time you wrote all 12 dreams out? What 12 dreams? What 12 areas? How do you even do that? And then even the greatest people who have truly successful lives can't write a dream for the life of them, even in areas they're successful in, right? Because mostly they're scared, they're hoping it turns out. Fear is running a lot of people's lives. And the magnitude that fear is up our nose, we don't even understand. So I get people to dream, I get them, and then if you hear why they gave a 6 to their sex life, right, then if you hear the reason why they gave it a 6, what you'll be engaged in the next paragraph is all about why you can't have what you want. What are your theories? Well, how do you justify yourself? How do you explain yourself? How do you lie to yourself? Right? Not because you want to, not because you're trying not to have a great sex life. Everybody wants a great sex life. Who are you kidding? Right? Of course you would. Yeah. Right? But something's up there. So the whole Handel Method is getting you to know yourself in ways you don't. Okay? So that's section 1. Section 2 is traits, parent traits, and the way you were raised, the culture, your heritage, your lineage. Like, there is lineage, and it is repeating. There is a world called epigenetics where behaviors are repeating. right? My father was stubborn. Yeah, he was. And guess who else is stubborn? Yes, I am, right? And then, would you like to be married to me? Right? Not unless that thing was being managed well, right? So,
Right.
or else it would be terrible to be my child, right? I have 3 kids. You don't want to argue with me. You pray I listen, right?
Right.
So, or else I will have a lousy relationship and blame the kid.
Right.
Right. So traits are very serious. I joke, I call them operating system. That's also true for your marriage trait, like your whatever marriage you were raised in, or no marriage, or my mother's on her 3rd husband, men or women, sex, all of it. And you have to understand yourself. So it goes through that deeply in the book. I care about that very much. And then the final section is what I call hauntings. And people think they remember things for whatever reason you think you remember it. I think you remember things for very different reasons, right? So what haunts you has shaped you, but why it's shaping you is very interesting when you put together the parent traits combined with your dreams that you're half fulfilling on, half not fulfilling on, let alone even letting yourself. Together, and you start to break out of that model. Like I put a model together that I explain so that you can start to have design rights. And then I teach what's called personal integrity. I care way more about your ability to keep a promise to yourself than I care about your ability to pick your kid up from school at 3 o'clock. You're good at that, right? But your ability to ask for what you need, oh, you're not so good at that, right? So there's where you're hurting yourself, not being true to your dreams, lost in whatever hauntings hit you throughout your life, and not breaking out of this model so you can dream and have a life you love.
Oh,
But how was that? That was like 7 minutes.
that was really, yeah, but that was, I get the feeling you've explained this before. So,
Yeah.
that was very, as a very concise, complex structure, right? I mean, the thing is, it's like, I understand it's very complex, but your approach is so simple, and it's so direct, and I know that part of what you do is also that, like, cutting the crap, like, not like being completely direct. So how is that? And you're also a very, like, caring and nurturing and loving person. So how do you get that balance? How is it that you're able to, work with people in a way that is still confrontational, but still in a very loving and kind way?
Good question. So because I fundamentally really do care about, like, I'm committed to your dreams and I'm committed to everything you, like, I don't start coaching until I know your dreams. And then I really will just, like, that dream is, like, I had a coaching call today with a first-time client, and I was like, you wrote the lamest dreams I ever heard. Like, why aren't you dreaming? Like, are you kidding? Right? I do not want to, like, can you read that one again and tell me if that really inspires you? Is that the best you can do? Like, that's it? That's what you want me working for. Right? So I'm snarky, funny, but love you to death. I have very different style coaches in the company. I have at least 30 different coaches working. And not everyone wants the funny, Jewish, snarky chick. Right. That, granted, I created all this, but you might prefer the male, nice, direct, charming man, right?
Yeah.
Like, from the Midwest, right? So I know enough not to think everyone likes my flavor.
I get that, and that's a good, self-awareness trait to have. I'm curious about what it's like for you to work with people like the person you just spoke to, when their dreams aren't as big as they can be. And it's like, how much of that is it our projection as teachers or guides or as coaches, for what we want for the student or the client, and not something that they maybe need or want? Does that make sense?
Yeah. How am I not laying my version of what people should be like on them?
Yeah.
Let's see. So excellence, like hearing a riveting dream, 20 years later, thousands and thousands of later, I'm not telling you what belongs in your dream. I can just hear whether you're dreaming or not. Right. So, and the body is an excellent place. Like if I read you the dream, you'd hear, the woman already works out 4 times a week, but she's not happy in her body. Right. You don't hear a happy being. Right. So part of so it's a good question. And I am just pushing her dream to her going, like when I asked her, is this moving to you? Do you love this? And she's like, no, it's that. Like, she's so pissed at her body, right? Mm-hmm. She has 3 haunting incidents that happened in her past.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it connects to the haunting, connects to her mother was a model, right? And was a skinny model, right? Like, so if you put all the dots together, you could go, poor thing. Right? And I can hear her trap in her dream. Right? So it's the first round of getting your own dreams inspiring to you, because you can hear what she doesn't want in every dream. Like, it's like the woman who goes, I would like my husband to be less of a jerk is her dream. Like, I would like us to have fun. Really? You would like to have fun? Doesn't sound like fun to me.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Like, what's up? Like, so you go, I would like to have fun, and I go, what's really going on is I would like to feel free with him. I would like to tell him everything. I would like to be in love in a way like we used to, where we played together, hung out, and did things. Like, that's got more dream in it. But I can hear in the one line, in the dream, you can hear the uh-oh.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Yeah. So it's a matter of active listening and just being present.
Yeah. Right. So the concern you're having is I can hear why, but it really is pushing a person to get past their, pessimism, their disappointments. Right. People are so disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing even now, in the current state of the world. And I find that there's a lot of people out there, and even, some of our listeners that, send messages or they send emails or they comment, and it's a lot of it has to do with being in a place of not being happy where they are, and then not knowing how to get out of that, or not having a big enough dream or a guide to be like, how big does this dream have to be, or what exactly is my role in this. Then I also find that there's a lot of complacency and a lot of sort of laziness. So I'm curious with your experience and with, this book that you've written, how much of people's participation is important in their dream. I mean, I know it's implicit in saying 100%, but I think that some people, may feel like the dream is so fleeting, or I'm stuck, I'm unhappy, this stuff happened to me, I've had this really traumatic experience, now I'm unhappy, and now can someone fix it? I need to get unstuck. But then when you give them advice, it's like they kind of half-ass do it, right? That was a lot of questions in one.
Like, I teach my coaches to take responsibility for what I call the gradient.
Oh.
Right. So however far in the hole you are, right? I got divorced 5 years ago. I put on 85 pounds. I don't even touch myself. Like, I have a kid. My whole life is that kid, but they're now, 15. They don't care about me anymore. They just want to go out. Right. I'm the chauffeur, and I'm miserable, and I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of my life. Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, that one. Right. And so when I go, there's 12 different areas of life. Right. What people judge themselves on are my love life, my body, my career. Maybe my kids, you know what I mean? Like, people are not understanding read a book, go for a walk, have integrity. What is integrity? Get on a dating site, lose your weight. Like, so a simple plan. Right, there really is what a person can do to change today.
Yeah.
That that if you make it like, I'll never find love again, and you're 80 pounds overweight, and you're not dating, and you don't even touch yourself, right? Like, you can use that to stay in bed and eat the Doritos.
Yeah.
Right? And be so sad and hate yourself, like as if hating yourself has integrity.
Yeah.
Right? So there really is that like level of disappointment in an area you're not moving through.
Yeah.
The book and what I teach is that, it's so much slower and simpler, right? In a day-to-day, like, let's just one day at a time it.
Yeah.
Right? And Groundhog Day it, right? Like that movie concept, right?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, it will break through, and I don't need you to change everything about your life. Let's just start with, I've worked with people with serious depression, right? And to get literally the first assignment with this woman, and she's 100% better now, right? The first assignment I begged her to do was to dance for 20 minutes. Could you just put on damn music and figure out how to dance for 20 minutes? Could you just, like, I understand you're miserable. I understand everything's never turning out. I understand everything you've said, and your medication isn't working. Like, I understand everything, right? I hear you, but we're going to break into your mind. And we're going to do one thing that you can't not have fun doing, right? So, and then really, you're like, how many weeks did she have to do that before she started feeling better, before she ate, before she, like, it's, so there's a gradient to get a person to change. And I love that problem. That's my problem. Let me figure out how to help you make the right changes at the right time in the right way.
Yeah.
So that, because no one wants to be a miserable pill.
Yeah.
No one signed up for that. And we all signed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Going back to our sweet little Dorito eating goddess, I'm curious to hear your take on how much of how this person got there is important to them getting out.
It's such an interesting question, because when I coach someone, I teach personal integrity first.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'm going to see if you can learn to keep a promise immediately. Because that's the thing that will build your confidence, your self-respect, right? You actually figure out, even if you, whatever it is, tell the truth, and, you eat like crap, and you're going to stop eating like crap starting at 6 p.m. No crap after, like any movement starts to make movement, right? And build a level of, hey, I broke into my inner dialogue and changed something. Right, and didn't throw the pity party, laughed at myself, stopped hating myself, and really promised 3 apples and ate 3 apples today. Right. Do you understand if you gave, like, I'm thinking of this one writer who I helped lose 85 pounds, not in the book, a different woman, and I literally was like, okay, she drank Coke for breakfast.
Oh, no.
Like that, like, you might drink coffee, she was drinking Coca-Cola. I howled, like, who even knew that you drank Coke for breakfast, right? I had no idea people did, right? So by the time she admitted the truth, we discovered she has 6 Coca-Colas a day, right? So one, I'm not humiliating her, I'm howling, right? We're like howling at, like, what does her inner dialogue say to get her a Coca-Cola 6 times a day, let alone everything else she eats? And then she starves for most of the day, right? So there's a method to the madness.
Okay.
And so what I do with a person is I get them to start to confess their madness with a sense of humor. Can we get you down to 3 Cokes a day? Make sense, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden she's right, and obviously if you called her now and saw her, you would understand she is not drinking Coca-Colas anymore.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So the more I got her to handle her weight was if she was really gained all that weight after that boyfriend left her, right? So she picked the wrong boyfriend, right? So we got her to own so we then go deep.
Yeah.
So as I get her to only have 3 Cokes, I then can go after when she really started being miserable.
Yeah.
And how, and then I really get her to go have the conversation with that boyfriend that she never had with him.
Yeah.
Right. And of course we negotiated how much weight she had to lose before she had the conversation with him. Because she didn't want to see him fat. right? Like humans are hysterical. So you negotiate with everything and you keep on making a plan that gets someone out of it.
Yeah. So it's almost like this small feats, completing these short-term goals or these little small feats creates more confidence, and then you can sort of dive deeper into the deep-rooted issues that are there.
Yeah, but I would say what the small seeds are we have inner dialogue, and most people can't. If I said, "What did you think to yourself all day?" Tell me all the negative thought trains you had today. Right? You're like, who? What? Where? When? Right? Like we play dumb to our own negative thinking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so if you start, so what I really care about is taking over the narrative you live in. Like you live in a narrative. What do you say when you look in the mirror? Are you nice to that face of yours? Right. So what mood does that put you in? Right. So there's a breaking into your own inner dialogue that then has you change your actions, which are those little seeds that you're talking about. Right. And then once you break into your inner dialogue, you can take over.
Oh, so it's really changing that internal dialogue. It's changing that inner narrative that is
It's
not
figuring out it's you and you're listening to criminals in there, right? You are a nightmare in there. Like who was that? Right?
right.
Who said that to you?
Right. Oh, that's so great. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, and this may be like again something that's maybe long-winded or it might be short. Why do you think that people have a hard time being honest with themselves?
It might make a mess. Like it makes messes, right? Right? It's all the messes it'll make, right? If you tell your father the truth about X, Y, or Z, you blew it when you didn't say it in the moment. You then defended why you couldn't say it in the moment because of them, right? We always explain why we can't do something because of the other person. You're the reason I can't tell you the truth, right? You're the reason I can't ask for what I want. We are blamers to justify our fear. Right? So we're scared of something. We're scared of saying something, facing something, anything. Fear is, God, it's ugly. Okay? And it's mean, right? And it doesn't want anybody to know. So we lie to ourselves rather than telling the truth, which would make us do something that would be scary, right? We're always avoiding doing something risky, right? Risky to say it, risky to ask for it, risky to tell the truth about that.
And do you think that that's why people make the same
God,
mistakes?
if everybody here admitted they were unhappy in their jobs and they wanted more money, right? The minute you admit something, it goes, well, what are you going to do about it, right? It's like the next stage, right? If you never admit it, do you ever have to really face that line?
Yeah.
No. Which is why the book is such a great title. Maybe it's you. Anything that's not working in your life, maybe it's you. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me is always my right line.
You know, if I didn't know you or your methods or the way that you work in the world, it's almost like when I got the book, it's like, maybe it's you, like you're the one, this is amazing, you know, but then like really thinking about it, it's like, okay, yeah, all those things, but maybe you're the problem.
Right?
You know? Just
right. I swear it's supposed to work both ways, right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
did you just get everything you wanted? Maybe it's you, right? It works for good and it works for bad.
But no, that's that we need the balance, right? We need both.
Yeah, no, it is hysterically accurate.
Why do you, so just going back on this idea or the concept of us not wanting to make a mess, why do you think it's important for us to go into those areas of our lives that are a little bit messy or let things get a little shitty sometimes?
Oh my God, it's cosmic, right? So there's the voodoo part that's scary, right? Like the relationship, you never fix your relationship with your father, and then every boss you have coming forward reminds you of your dad or it's like there's a voodoo, woo-woo, weird component of what you haven't solved in your own history is showing up in your current reality. right? 9 out of 10, I am sorry, I can play pin the tail on that donkey, right? Right? So if you don't solve things from your past, they will show up to repeat in your future in ways you did not expect. You're dating them, right? They're your nemesis coworker, right? They're like, they show up around you, right? So the more you go and face what things you're hiding from, right? Never resolved, lies you never cleaned up, relationships that still kind of hurt you or haunt you, the more you resolve all of them, the more you will be shocked at like what it does to your current reality. Like, you're not making the connection. We want it to be linear, like I don't ever have to say sorry for anything I ever did, or, even though you have no idea how good it would feel if someone came back and apologized and told you the truth. Like, you might be able to get it would change your life if that boyfriend came back, told you the truth, apologized for cheating, and really asked for forgiveness. Like, maybe you could understand that would rock your world, but you would feel 100 pounds lighter that you didn't know you weren't feeling, right? And the amount of people not really making amends, right? And that the only ones who are really making amends are in, 12-step programs. And,
Right.
That's like, come on. How could that be true?
Yeah.
Right? So there's amazing results that happen when people start to deal with the crap they've never faced, so that it changes their current reality and your relationship to yourself. Right? So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely. And part of, I do a lot of, in teaching yoga, I also work with a lot of people in recovery, and I'm always like, God, this 12-step program everyone should do, this should just be like part of life. Like, everyone should be required to take these steps just for your own personal development and your own personal growth. I mean, it's everything that you teach too. It's all of it, so I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. So I am famous for being 12 steps on steroids because I don't believe in like 12-step programs are really okay with, like, if it's going to hurt someone, don't tell. Right? Like, there's a place where they believe in keeping lies.
Right. Ooh,
right.
Yeah.
Not right. Like, you cheated, you had an affair for 2 years, right? And the person you cheated with is still married. Right? And so you're going to the grave with that, like, as if that's helping that marriage or woman or family. Right? So like, I'm a little more gamey. Like, I really believe in the truth.
Wow.
Right? So it's always aligned. I don't make anybody do anything.
Right.
But I really believe in that the truth sets you free.
Yeah, that's
right? Sets
power.
everybody free. Right? Like,
That's
can
power.
we stop like, come on, that woman deserves to know so she could do whatever she wants to do, even if she decides to hate you and love the husband still. Like, at least there's not, like, and then I really do, over the years, I have studied where cancer comes from, like, all the results of people living with lies and being lied to.
Yeah.
And deep secrets hidden, and like what happens emotionally, physically, and in people's life stories as a result of the masquerade. And I swear it will change everything if people start telling the truth or asking for the truth or stop living in their lies. Right? It's the greatest healer on earth.
Wow.
But it's a real hard sell.
Yeah, it's so confronting. Look at you. That's amazing. Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
It is. It is, because it's so. I mean, you feel that it's powerful. It's truly, truly powerful. So just to kind of just continue on this topic, and it speaks to this a little bit, is if you think there's a difference between settling and compromise. And what's the difference, if there is?
Oh, I love this question. I read it and saw this, and I thought it was brilliant. Compromise is two equal people coming up with giving up what they have to give up to meet in the middle. It's like actual mutual respect, right? Like, everyone understands there's compromise.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, if the world is not according to me, so my husband and I constantly have to compromise in order to really make each other happy. Right? So happiness is the union, is a compromise and a union. settling is when you don't like what you gave up and you're going to keep it, like you're actually going to, have some covert hostility, like you settled, right? You surrendered something that, like, it wasn't a compromise, right? If you compromise, you understand why you gave up what you gave up. If you settle, you just gave up. And usually when you settle, it's why you get divorced, right? It's why it comes back. We don't settle well, right? We really don't.
Yeah, no.
Right? We get, if you want to know what hauntings are, they're where you settled.
Oh, that's good.
Right? You didn't say something, you didn't do something, and it's still haunting you.
Yeah.
Oh, you tried to settle.
Oh, that's so true. It's so true. It's so
we're not
true.
cool with that.
No, I'm
We
like
don't settle well.
at all. And I'm like sitting
No.
here like thinking, I'm just like making mental notes. I'm like, man, I need to dive into this one little thing happening right now. This is so true.
It's a brilliant question. And then if you can't find a compromise that you respect,
Yeah.
right, and then it only feels like settling, it just means you're not with the right person or in the right, and no one ever likes to leave.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if it's a business, people don't like to face failure or that you and I couldn't make it work. But if I walk away feeling like I settled, then that is a failure in a way that will get you later. Whereas if we both feel like we walked away and we compromised, then we both respect each other.
Yeah.
So respect would be the exchange rate.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I still respect you, and yes, we compromised.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of self-awareness and confidence to have two adults have that conclusion.
Yes. Oh my God. I have a job because I help people figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a long-standing career.
Exactly. So going into the topic of transformation, part of, the question in yoga and meditation and wellness and coaching and these practices is about creating transformation, transforming one thing, one area in your life or your whole life as a result of changing something. So typically, to see far, we have to be willing to look close. So the question is, in what area of your life have you chosen to look closer?
Oh, I have a group of 8 women, and we are always I'm gonna spell this out because it's such a great game that you like. If your listeners want to design something, this is the best. So me and my 7 other women meet every 6 weeks, and we do homework. Right, we do a homework assignment. Right, that is working on ourselves.
Okay.
And then we team up. We have buddies. Right, and then every broken promise that we make for the game. Like if we make a game, we always make a game. The game is to advance something in our lives.
Okay.
Right. And every broken promise, like I didn't go to the gym or whatever, I'm making it simple, but whatever you didn't keep a promise is $10 in the pot. Right. So it's like make a difference gambling. Right. So you understand the 8 girls throw in, we have gotten pots up to about $1,200.
Oh my goodness.
Right? It's awesome. So we're right. So all the broken promise money goes into the pot.
Okay.
And then the greatest results from the team, like the best team wins. Right? And we all vote. And we meet every 6 weeks and we have buddies. It's the hottest game in town. Right?
Wow.
Okay, does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I never stop I never stop working on myself.
Right.
Right? And then I do it with a gang of hot chicks that were all crazy into working on ourselves. Elena Brower was in the group for about, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but the latest thing we've been working on is studying fear versus love. Right? And could you and fear, when someone says fear, it's not like you're scared there's a bear outside. Right? Or I'm scared to go out and, at 12 o'clock in Central Park. Right? That's some kind of fear, but many people so we're studying fear like when anger is fear. Right? like go deep into fear, and you will find lots of reactions in the way you look at the world as fear-based. And even your love is fear-based. Like, so what would love be without any fear in it at all? Right? So if you're like, what am I studying? I'm like, I'm trying to find my belly button on that. Where is it? You get it?
Yeah.
Wish me
Yeah.
luck. It's
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. I love to hear great teachers and leaders like yourself say that, because I think often what happens when you get into a position of authority and you have credibility, I mean, you've been doing this for over 2 decades, and sometimes people get into this mindset of like, well, I have it all figured out, so I don't need to work on myself anymore. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, that's not true. Yeah. I teach promises and consequences. Like I have promises and consequences, and if you're waiting for the day I don't have, like I have promises and consequences, and everyone knows them, including my children, and I need them. Yeah, I am not.
So I want to be respectful of your time. I only have a couple more questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
good. Okay. So this is a personal question for you. In what area of your life do you feel the most free?
I feel the most free in my marriage. Right? Like in my marriage. I've never, like, I can't even believe how much I'm still in love with my husband after 20 years.
Oh.
Right? And how much fun we're still having 3 kids. Like we haven't blown it at all yet. At all. Right? And no one thinks, we don't have anything fixed or handled, but it is really special. So that's my favorite. But, that's like if you're like, what's your greatest thing? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, my marriage.
Wow. I love that. Hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah. And I think, my dream to teach people like to believe in the love of their life and that it is possible, right? And is comes from finding him and having that. Right.
So having that experience and the knowledge and how you've grown obviously together as one unit and also as individuals, what kind of advice can you give the people out there who are looking for that special someone and maybe feel like it's never going to happen for them?
So I swear my next book it's very simple, but it cuts to the chase. Right? So I say you have 3 main competing voices, right? Head, heart, and hoo-ha. Okay? Okay. And if you lay out what your head wants, and your head, how much money does he make? Do I really, like the head, is she smart enough? Right? So the head, does she want 3 kids? The head has to know what it really, really wants over time. The heart is yummy feeling, security. Your heart knows what it really wants and trusts. And, if everybody, God forbid, died on planet Earth and you were stuck alone with that one person, you're good, right? Mm-hmm. It's okay. We're on the ball. If you heard you have to sleep with him for the rest of your life or her, you're like, that's going to be okay. I'm okay with that, right? So, right?
I literally just got that. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
We're good. I'm okay with that. We both want monogamy. Is he into a little extra? Am I allowed? What, like clear on all truths, right? Got that? The amount people do, and then next part is figure out your deal breakers for each.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the next part is know your history and your parents, so you know how you screw it up. Oh. Right? Like, oh my God, like if you actually understood me, and I think it might be, no, I don't think it's in the book. Like my head and my heart were happy with the guy. My hoo-ha was always bored out of its gourd.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And so I was always selling out on my hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Right? And then we would break up, because sadly we would break up because I wasn't ready. And then I would go banging along, satisfying my hoo-ha for a bunch of months, and then I would get back in the heart and head business.
Yeah.
right? And so, right, miserably. And I did that pattern over and like the thing I have found is that people are repeating it. You figure out if you do your history in the way I teach the method, if you do your history of head, heart, and hoo-ha, you can see how you sell out over time and always have. And the theories you have for your head, your heart, and your hoo-ha. I can never get that because, right, like each voice. And then my joke is that they're like delegates, right? Like the head always beats out the heart and the hoo-ha. Like, who's winning? Tell the truth about the power in the business. And then the final H, right? Then I have the fourth H, so head, heart, and hoo-ha. And then the final H is hunt.
Oh.
You know, no one thinks you don't have to hunt for a job. No one thinks you don't have to hunt for an apartment. No one thinks you don't have to hunt for a college. No one thinks you don't have to hunt even for a best friend. Okay, stop being wimps about hunting for a lover or a partner. Get good at hunting.
Yeah.
How is that not a duh? Right? So that's basically and then don't sell out, right?
Yeah.
Stay with them for at least a year and then do the ratings again. Don't lie about the ratings. And then the next thing is be able to walk away when you know that one of the ratings is telling the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Then the next part is people don't let go.
Yeah. They stay in it too long.
Well, they're really in a sellout, right? They like the head and the heart are there, but the hoo-ha is sad, right? And
Right.
most people walk down the aisle knowing where they're selling out. Like most people know the sellout. I did a statistic of all the clients that we ever coached at Handel that got divorced. 80% of them knew why they were going to divorce their husband when they were walking down the aisle.
Wow. Walking down the aisle.
Walking down the aisle.
Wow.
They're like hoping that the sex gets better. It's okay. We only sleep together 3 times a month. Really? That's okay with you? Yes. He's so great. He's such a good man. Right? Really? Really? You're so okay. So why don't we just have some more sex? I don't want to. Right? Ew. Right? Like, what's up?
Yeah.
So so going deeper into all the truth about that inner dialogue and facing everything will get a person to hunt better.
Okay. Oh, that's so good. Please, Lauren, can you write that book
I'm on
soon?
it. I'm so on
Soon.
it.
So
As soon as people buy this book,
they will. Every
right?
single person listening to this podcast is going to go out and get that book because it's going to change their lives. Guaranteed.
Yes,
Guaranteed.
Oh my God.
For sure.
Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's you.
Is
Yeah.
brilliant. It's
Maybe
brilliant.
it's you.
You will love it. It is funny. I finally got the voice right. It's excellent.
I can't wait. I really cannot wait. Final question for you before I let you go. Part of the reason why I created this podcast is to create a forum for people to come to get information or to get inspired or to spark their creativity or to feel more connection. Radically loved, it comes from the idea that we are all radically loved. We are supported by God, by Mother Nature, by Force, by whatever it is, the higher power of your understanding. We are radically loved and we're supported. So my question to you is, there's 2 questions. The first one is, how do you feel radically loved? And the next question is, what do you radically love?
So I feel like the luckiest girl on earth because I get to shepherd this, methodology into the world, right? And I'm a bit of a goofball, right? So I feel very blessed, like this little Chiquita gets to do that, right? And I know it, and I know it, and then I get, I can't write, I can't do this, and then I get to and then the amount of people around me who love me and support me and support the mission of getting it out in the world is like, I am so radically loved. Right? That is like high as a kite. I couldn't be higher from anything than the privilege.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do I radically love? God, I really love hearing a person's when someone fills out their homework, the 12 areas, and everything like that. When a person tells their life story from guts that I demand, right, I get to fall in love with that person. Right. My husband thinks I am a love junkie, right? Like like the amount of love I live on is offensive. It's offensive. It's offensive, right? I get to be loved and give love. I am offensive, right? I am a junkie. And radical love is great, right? It's good.
Yeah. So where can people listening to this podcast, where can they go to get more information about you and what you do and your method and your book? Please tell us where to go to get more.
So maybe it's you on Amazon, right? Maybe it's you. You could pre-order. You can pre-order the book. Depending on when this comes out, but the book is on sale starting April 4th. And then the company and the website is Handel Group, Handel Group.com, right? So Handel Group. Mm-hmm. And we have, we're giving it away at the Handel Group, right? We got everything.
Yeah, no, that's great. And we're going to have all of those links hooked up to the show notes so people can just go and listen to this podcast and they can just click the links and they can go directly to get the book and go to the Handel Method and learn more about Lauren and everything that she's doing. Do you hang out on social media at all?
Oh, really? You're going for my nerves? You're just going straight for it, are you? Okay. My company does.
Okay.
My company does.
Okay.
Right. My company does, and I approve everything that goes out.
Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast and this community and for all the work that you're doing, the thousands of articles that you've written, the hundreds and thousands of people, even millions, I could say, that you've helped through the 20 years of your career, and for inspiring me and for impacting my life and how I'm doing what I'm doing. I just have nothing but gratitude and appreciation, and I radically love you, and I really hope that you come back on the show and do it again.
Oh my God. Thank you. This was awesome. Nice. You had me at hello. I'll come back tomorrow.
Okay.
I feel very loved.
Thanks, Lauren.
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. For more information, visit www.radicallylove.com/podcast to read all about today's guests or past guests. You can click on any of the links, or for more information, you can always follow me on Instagram at Rosie Acosta or Twitter at Rosie Acosta, and let us know what you thought.